Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors, your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad you're here this Monday morning. We love our Monday mornings, so we're getting our week started off right with a bunch of good news and good things happening in the outdoors here in the Florida Panhandle. Our weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center at 767-5500. I rode by there the other day on the side of the building. They got 2-3 planes. They've got marine mechanics, marine engineering. I'm sorry, not marine, aircraft planes. You know what I'm talking about. They have that going there, a new program, and they got all kind of planes sitting right there in the lot. I couldn't believe I saw it was at the Panama City Regional Airport. But anyway, our weather is warming back up at night. The low tonight is only going to be 73 degrees. We had it all last week in the 60s, but now it's going to be low tonight of 73. High today of 87. But you know, this time of year, we love September. We have some great opportunities for some fronts to start coming in, and we always talk about the front bringing in a dove, or the front doing this or doing that, or getting a mullet running. So these fall fronts will just start beginning at the end of September. So we look forward to that. Let's take a look at our moon phases. Our moon phases are, we're in a good shape now. This is 17th of September. We're looking on this Monday right, let's see, right there. So we're starting some new moons, and the moon's waxing up this week, and we're looking at next Friday, the 28th, our full moon, Friday, 2 weeks from now. So got the moon building up this week. All right, now take a look at the tides. Today the tides will be really, I looked at a whole month, about the weakest tide of the month on the 17th here. We only got like a 0.3 foot movement, not a lot of movement, but it's going to be low tide this morning at 6:20 and high at 10:35. Not a lot of tidal flow, but on for the weekend. If you're looking ahead for the weekend looks like in great shape for some really strong tides. Okay, we'll take our first break and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Glad you're with us, as I always say, and I always mean it too. But first, let's cover the reports. I've gotten some reports of some dirty water out in the Gulf and all, and of course, all kind of rumors start circulating and all kind of things. They say they're stirring up some of that BP stuff and all that. That's just all rumor and hearsay. But I have had some reports of some dirty water around the pier and then out from the pass a little bit. So maybe they'll get on out of here with that storm came through about 2 weeks ago. Might have had it stirred up. And speaking of rumors now, this is all in the rumor category. They had a big meeting out in New Orleans on NOAA and all, talking about next year's quota and all. They said we exceeded. We have good news and bad news coming out of that. We think it's all unofficial. Now this is just talk on the dock, so don't go telling people to work today this is going to happen. But this is what I heard. Okay, they say the good news is that we may get an extension on the grouper season, and the bad news is that we've exceeded our red snapper quota. Which is, I laugh when I say it because it's so much. So they may cut the red snapper down next year. So all that, you know, up in the air. But that's some of the early words coming out of that meeting. Okay. But speaking of fishing, now the epicenter of the fishing world will be located in the Gulf County this coming weekend because we have two big tournaments. First of all, on Friday and Saturday. Well, this will be the one on Saturday and Sunday. The big bass tournament at $10,000, first place guaranteed. For big bass fishing tournament out of White City. That's sponsored by the Gulf County Sheriff's Office, and I'll be down there Sunday afternoon for the weigh-in and presenting the checks and all, and we're really looking forward to it. Also, on Friday and Saturday in Weewall, now this is the final flathead catfish tournament of the year. This is going to be there at Gaston Park, the Flathead Catfish Tournament Trail. This will be the final one. They're also going to have on this one will be Channel Cat. And we'll try to get down there, try to get word down there about the winners and all. But those are two good tournaments and really some good prize money. And there'll be a lot of good time had by those fishermen, I know. So if you get a chance, go participate if you can. If not, maybe go to weigh-in and check it out. It's a lot of fun. White City and Weewall. Now, speaking of tournaments, they're having, they haven't told me about it. It's sort of the pier tournament they're having. They had this thing last year that sort of sneaked it in on us. And I really think deep down inside they don't want many of the locals participating in it. They want to get a lot of tourists and all coming down fishing these tournaments at the pier. Right? It's not really a tournament. It's a weekend. Starts on Friday night and ends on Sunday, and they have different categories and all. They haven't told me anything about it, but I did find out it starts October, the first weekend of October, about the 4th, and then it'll go through the whole month of October and they'll have prizes and all, and they're going to be like $7,000 worth of prizes to be at the county pier and the beach pier. I'm going to try to find out. They don't want us to know a lot about it. I wish they would give us more information on it. I'm going to find out and let you know. I'd like to see a bunch of locals go out there fishing for the weekend and, you know, take advantage of some good fishing and some good prize money. And we welcome our tourists to fish alongside of us, but, you know, we have an opportunity and we have a right to fish those things too. So we're going to try to get the word out. Last year they sort of kept it, they really didn't tell us much about it, but this year we're going to promote it, even without their help or not. We're going to promote it and let y'all know about it, okay? Now, speaking of doing things outdoors, and I was thinking the other day about, you know, I'm always encouraging all of us to do things with kids and all, get them started outdoors and all kind of unique things. I want to share something with you. I did it several years back, and I do it all the time now, every year. I started with my outdoor ed kids, and I always tell them about how much fun it is to go snorkeling and picking up scallops and all. So we're blessed to have a pool at Mose, and we use it a couple times during the class on life safety and different kind of things, on rescuing people and all. And one thing I do, we have this, over the years, I've kept this right here. You can see it's just a bowl full of scallop shells. Now what I've done, I put numbers, I've numbered them. Like that's a number 1, that's a number 2, 3, 6. I've got all these scallop shells are numbered. And what I'll do, we'll get the kids to get up on the edge of the pool and close their eyes, and I'll get somebody to help me. We'll just scatter these scallop shells in the pool. And then I'll blow the whistle, and they'll have partners or in teams of 3, however big the class is, and they'll just go down. Most of them, I'll tell them bring the mask. Most of them just go open their eyes underwater. And, you know, we're teenagers, it don't bother you. So they'll just get a collection, and we'll play all kind of games. We'll play who's got the most shells, and one time then I'll give them points for that. Then I'll find out next time. I say, well, who's got the more number 1s, or who's got, okay, who can do a straight like in a poker game, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll have all kind of different combinations of numbers. And those 18-year-old kids love that game. And you can do this with kids and all in any kind of situation around springs, around even in Baywater if they have a mask and snorkeling. And it's a great introduction of getting kids to get out in the water, put that mask and snorkel on and finding things. And then you can also have prize ones, or you have one that's broken off or something. Whoever finds that one gets a little balloon or whatever. All kind of things you can create. We're not just teenagers. This works great with teenagers, but also works great with any kids that can get in the water and do things. So that's our tip for today on getting kids involved in the outdoors. Just save some of those scallop shells you got this weekend, and really this is the last weekend, so if you have a chance to get into then, just save them, let them dry out, and put numbers on them, or you can draw animals on them, just something like that to get the kids involved in it, okay? Now, one other thing, coming up this weekend, I want to share this with you. On the 22nd will be the opening of duck season, and remember now we're having 2 species of ducks. And one of them is going to be the teal, and one's going to be the wood duck. And I'm fascinated with this game on my iBox. It's not a game; it just actually depicts the duck call. So I'm going to go ahead and do the teal. Okay, if you're out hunting this for teal, if you're scouting for them, okay, you hear that? That's a teal right there. It's a little, just almost like it's a small. Now we're going to go down to the wood duck. And the basic call on a wood duck is, this is my favorite call. Okay, that's a wood duck right there. And then if you're walking up on them, I used to like to walk up on them up in the sloughs. They're chattering. Okay, that's a wood duck chatter. All right, and if they come in, here's a male wood duck. That's the male there. I used to do a lot of duck hunting, and I would have all this stuff. One more. Okay, that's all wood ducks, okay? So if you're getting out for teal or wood duck, those are the sounds you're going to be listening for. And if you get a chance to get out and scout, that's exactly what you're going to be listening for and all. It's just exciting to do that. Okay, let's take our first break. I'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Just talking about that game with scallop shells and all. You can anything like that to get a kid in outdoors is important. But you can invent little games and throw anything in a pool in the backyard, those little stand-up pools. Just get them started doing that. That's important. I found that would be true years ago working with kids doing that. Okay, let's do something special on Being Monday. Let's go ahead and give away a shirt. Okay, a Mexico Beach shirt, Mexico Beach Artificial Reef Association. Good-looking shirt here. got all the sponsors on the back, and they'll see you. When you fall in water, they're going to rescue you first because you're going to have this color. This is that Panhandle Outdoors color that we started. Okay, so I'm going to draw a name, and got some interest in last week. Some people enter, so don't forget, never too late to enter. And the winner of this shirt is going to be Terry Linton. Terry Linton up there, Weewall. Terry, that shirt will be good. That's a size fits you right there. Terry Linton up in Weewall. Now, you know, we had all that rain this past month and all summer we had all this rain. And one of the bad things about the rain is all the little pockets of mosquitoes and all that it breeds. And, you know, a lot of times we don't know what insect repellent to use, here, this and that and all. So I went straight to the horse's mouth a while back and talked to the folks out there on mosquito repellents and all, and I think you will really enjoy this video. This video tells you sort of exactly what to expect from a mosquito repellent, okay? Let's roll this, Jeff. Okay, folks, Panhandle Outdoors, parked out here on Robinson Bayou, and we are visiting with the FAMU lab over here on mosquito repellents. Today we're going to this disease, ecology, and control lab. I'm going in here to meet these folks. I've met them previously. These guys are pretty sharp, so we're gonna come on in. I'm gonna let them introduce themselves. We'll start off with the boss over here.
Hi, I'm Dr. John Smith, Director of the Public Health Entomology Center for Florida A&M University.
Okay, and you enjoy the outdoors too, right?
Oh, big outdoorsman.
Big outdoorsman,
sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of big, okay.
I'm Eric Cope. I'm a lab technician, work for Dr. Smith in disease ecology and surveillance section.
All right.
And I'm Jimmy Walsh. I also work in the same section, disease ecology surveillance section. I'm a lab tech, and I love to pompano fish.
All right.
I'm
And
an
you're a
outdoorsman too.
big bass fisherman. So we're around some outdoorsmen, and ironically, we're testing these repellents. So basically, you were telling about the 4 categories. So go ahead and tell us these.
Yeah, you know, for outdoorsmen, there are 4 different insect repellents that are recommended by the Centers for Disease Control, and we have the 4 here. One of the largest groups contain DEET, and these 2 brands, Off and Cutters, they're not the only brands of DEET, but they're the most popular products available, and they range in concentration of DEET based on the different products, from a real light, like 7%. If you look in the active ingredient, it'll be something like 7% real light DEET for a couple hours worth of protection, ranging up to something like this with 23% DEET. Deep Woods Off. A lot of outdoorsmen will use the higher concentration, but it'll give you longer repellency, anywhere from 4 to 6, 8 hours, depending on how much you're sweating and that sort of thing. And these others are just sort of in between concentrations. This one, I wanted to point out, contains a actually cornstarch, and it goes on dry instead of the wet kind of feel that you get with most DEET products. It's worth looking at, 15% DEET. And then there are, like I said, Cutter also makes DEET products ranging from the light to the heavier. They come in towelettes as well. And then a newer repellent that just came on the market the last couple of years ago, sold by Cutter, contains a product called picaridin. And picaridin's just as effective as DEET, but many people say that it doesn't affect their skin the same way for people who have skin sensitivities. By the way, if you use the higher concentrations of DEET, there's more of a chance that you're going to have some sort of skin irritation. Okay. So another alternative for people that like herbal repellents, the Centers for Disease Control recommends lemon eucalyptus for repellency, and it works pretty well too, up to, this says 6 hours, but we found it was more like 4 hours of protection. And it's sold, Off makes a product as well called Off Botanicals that contains the same thing. Okay. And then lastly, Skin So Soft. Now this is not the bath oil. This is a special mixture that contains a repellent called IR3535, and it's another option that will give you a couple of hours to 3 hours of protection against any sort of biting insect.
Okay. And you guys used to test these, you were saying y'all used to be the guinea pigs, test your own legs and all, but we don't do it that way anymore?
Right, yeah, we've done a lot of testing on repellents where we actually expose the mosquitoes we rear here in the laboratory on our leg surfaces. And not long ago we got out of that business, and now we use artificial technique for doing that. We'll show you a little bit.
You guys were glad of that, huh? Okay, so we're now going next door and then do some, okay.
Okay, here we are in one of our mosquito rearing buildings, actually where we raise mosquitoes for repellent testing. And
now I've been looking around to make sure none of them are going to get on me, so go ahead.
Yeah. Well, anyway, this contraption you see here is the unit that we use to test for mosquito repellents. And what it is a water bath here with a heater and a circulator that takes water from this aquarium and it pumps it through these reservoirs. And these reservoirs have little wells in the top of them that contain blood. We'll put an artificial blood substance in each of these wells, and then we cover the surface with a collagen membrane. It's kind of like a sausage casing. Jimmy has one here. You'll put that on.
So that's depicting the human skin?
Yes.
More or less? Okay.
Okay. After he puts this on, now we have basically an artificial person, if you want to think of it that way. And we'll take a little plastic template that has a very fine cloth on it, and that cloth will be treated. Each of these rectangular squares will be treated with a candidate repellent, and one of them will be left untreated as a control. And this is placed on top of that skin, that artificial skin surface.
Okay.
And then we take this plastic module, it's called a K&D module, that actually is used to hold the mosquitoes and expose them to these rectangles that's on top. They're little doors that open up to expose the mosquitoes to each of the treatments. And they're exposed for like 90 seconds, and we record the data on, you know, their biting activity for the various repellents.
Okay.
But Jimmy here will show you how we get the mosquitoes.
All right. Jimmy got the mosquitoes in here, huh?
Well, we have several cages full of mosquitoes right here. They're pretty vicious little guys.
All right, let me
get a pretty good shot of them there. What we'll do is...
Those are yellow fever mosquitoes, by the way.
Are they really?
But they're not infected. They're all clean.
They're all laboratory raised. They're totally sterile.
Oh, okay.
That's the mosquito that's transmitting dengue right now in Key West.
Oh, really?
Same one.
Okay.
And what we'll do is we'll put a larger aspirator in here, and we'll suck the females up off the side, and we'll put them in these clear cages.
Okay.
And that way we can see them, because they like to stand on the side, and then we will take this apparatus right here, which is a much smaller aspirator, something we put together ourselves, and we will insert it into the cage here and suck 5 mosquitoes off the side. There's a little screen here that captures them so they can't get out. So once we get them in there, we just put our finger over it, and we take the cage that you saw out there, the K&D module, we'll take the cork off, and we'll blow the mosquitoes in there, and then work it closed, and there's your 5 mosquitoes. We'll have 5 in each well.
Okay.
And then we take them out there and put them on the K&D module we use for testing, like Dr. Smith showed you. And we will open the doors and expose the mosquitoes to the treatments for 90 seconds.
Wow.
And we will remove the food the night before, so they're pretty hungry the morning we do the test. And it really works. It's very accurate, and we're really happy with the results we've gotten.
Cool. That's a neat setup right there. And you put 5 in each one.
5 in each one.
All right. And then you once you test them and all, you do the data when it comes back to you.
They'll run several replications of the experiment. And the data that we get from that will be consolidated into a database. Yeah, this is just a data recording form. It'll be consolidated into a database. They send the data over to me, I analyze it, and we're able to create charts that show how well the different repellent formulations do. We do a lot of commercial repellent testing, but also a lot of experimental repellents that haven't come on the market yet or anything like that.
Okay. All right. Well, guys, I want to thank y'all so much for your time and for sharing all this information with our viewers, because we have a lot of outdoorsmen out there that are always trying to protect themselves and want to go fishing and hunting or walking and all. And I know I'm gonna come back later on and ask you guys maybe what do y'all use when y'all go out. But I'm gonna put you on the spot now. But I want to thank you so much for sharing this, and we're gonna get back and do some more of this with you guys. Thank y'all.
Good. Thank you. Our pleasure.
All right, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that. It's very informative. I learned a lot myself. Okay, let's take a look at our fish and game forecast for today. Our times are 1:29 to 3:29. That's in the morning now, 1:29 to 3:29. But today, when you get in, if you get off work early, I know some of y'all are off on Mondays, we're looking at 1:56 to 3:56. So basically from 2 to 4 this afternoon. Now, like I said earlier, beginning of the show, this is sort of beginning of early fall and all kind of things going on and all kind of outdoor activities, and the weather sort of cooling down a little bit. So great time to be in the outdoors, great time to be in the Panhandle outdoors. One of the things I've been working on with my class, I was going to share this with you real quick. This Boating Smart, we're in a situation where we teach the kids this boating safety and all, and just, almost monthly we have all kind of boating accidents and all across the state of Florida. So we really encourage our kids to do it. But I would encourage you as a viewer and as someone living in the Panhandle to pick up this book. And actually, there's a place right here, there's a test in the back, and then there's an actual sheet that you can fill out and take the test and get your safe boater license. And you don't have to take a class at school. You just do this, it's an open book test. I'll give it to my kids. I still have a couple of them fill it every year. I think they just fill it out wrong, get confused and all, but we can retest and all. But anyway, I would encourage you to read this book. It's got a lot of great information on it. We've talked about it before, but read it and go ahead and fill it. Take the test and send it off and get one of those lifetime boaters, safe boater certificate. It'd be something really neat to have, okay? Now, got to wrap things up again. Got a good week started. Been a great Monday. And sometime during the course of the day, you're going to have an opportunity to do something good for somebody, and take advantage of that. You have a great day and you have a great week, and God bless.
Thanks for joining us for Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors features hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.